All right, we are back for part two. So we left off with Kano, such a good figure. Most Storm collectible figures are really, really good. I don't collect a lot of them. First is because they're bloody expensive. Second is because a lot of times they don't play nice with the size of other figures. They are kind of a little bit larger, especially their regular size figure. So when it comes to Storm, I will collect their large figures. Kano is kind of an exception because I just wanted an action figure of Kano. So if he's like half an inch taller than he should be, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll put up with it in this case. Now we look at another high-end figure. Again, when I say high-end, some of you might be laughing, like those of you that collect $200 or $300 figures, like 12-inch tall figures, and yeah, people who are into Hot Toys and Masco and those stuff. You're saying that's not high-end. You know what? To me, it's high-end. To me, if it's like, if you have to spend 40, $50 and above, then it's starting to hit the high end range. This guy, uh, by Berserker Studio, this is from the Mythology, Myth God series. This is the god of the underworld, Hades, and look at him, it's gorgeous. Okay, this guy is probably going to show up again in a later video when I do my top 10 toys of 2023. Um, he's got this flaming sword. He got this flaming. Uh, it's not a trident. It's called a bident. No, I'm not talking about the U.S. president. Seriously, it is called a bident. When you have three prawns, it's called a trident. When you have two, it's called a bident, like a pitchfork. Okay, he got flaming sword, flaming bident, and he has flames on his shoulder, flame on his arm. This guy, the armor is all removable. Like if you want, you can strip him down and have a naked warrior. Like you can display him like this in full god mode, or he has an alternate head, a human head. If you strip him down, you can have a naked Greek warrior. I don't know why you would want a naked Greek warrior, but anyway, um, it's just such a good action figure. He will run you somewhere between 65 to $80 US, and it's not easy to find. Okay, this is like one of those very exclusive figures that you either have to get it from like 5K Toy, or you get it from Big Bad Toy Store if it's not out of stock. But it's just a simply gorgeous figure with a lot of alternative pieces, removable armor, different weapons, energy effect, fire pieces, fire effect, um, alternate hand, alternate head, alternate faceplate. Even on the helmet, you can put different faceplates to make the helmet look different. And all these fire effect on him, they are removable. And the cape on his back and part of his uh, robe. They are soft good, they are fabric, and it has such a nice, heavy feel to it. Nice velvety lining. It's a like really good quality stuff. Not like sometimes when you get $20, $30 action figures and they have soft good and they feel like tissue paper or someone like wadded up some Kleenex and stuck them in there. No, this feel like something that if it's full size, you would wear it and it would be pretty comfortable. Now, if you were to ask me, of all the mainstream toys, means the one that you can actually buy from the store, where you can walk into Target or Walmart and buy them. So nothing like Berserker Studio or Storm Collectible. Of all the mainstream toys, who gives the best bang for your buck? Who gives the best value? I would say it's NECA for sure. Yeah, McFarlane is nice. McFarlane's figures are great. The sculpts are great, but and they're really cheap. But he doesn't give you a lot. Like a lot of times there's barely any accessory, and the figures are not really well painted, and there's usually some underlying issues with them. Uh, I hate saying that because I'm a big fan of McFarlane's work, but yeah, his action figure is like budget line. They're really budget friendly, but yeah, they are not like the best they could be. And Hasbro, yeah, don't even get me started on Hasbro. The GI Joe's great, but other than GI Joe's, most of the other Hasbro stuff don't give you a lot of value. But NECA, whenever you get a NECA action figure, yeah, they cost like 35 to 45 bucks, so they're kind of up there, kind of expensive, but almost every time you get one in hand, you will go, whoa, okay, that's totally worth it. Take this guy for example. This is Zog from Ninja Turtle, big Triceratops dude. He's one of the Triceratons, a dinosaur man. I don't know much about his story, but he's huge. He's a big dinosaur man. He comes with great articulation, and he comes with a gun, a knife, three removable grenades for his belt, uh, interchangeable hands, uh, and it's just a big chunky figure with good posability and cool, really cool on the shelf. I'm going to bring uh, Shipwreck back in. We're going to bring Shipwreck back in because, like I said, we're going to use him for size comparison. Uh, okay, Shipwreck, if I can get him to find a place to stand, uh, there's hardly any room here because of how big this dinosaur dude is. Here's Shipwreck, right? Shipwreck, 25, $26 versus Zog behind him, bigger, taller in every which way, comes with more accessory. What is he, like 37 bucks, 40 bucks? Yeah, you definitely get much more value with NECA action figure. This guy's just huge. From the top, I mean, yeah, depending on if we count his horn, right? So if you count his horn at the top of his frail, he's at least 2 inches taller than Shipwreck. And let's just put it this way: this guy's proportion is more like an Incredible Hulk, and he's heavy. I think this guy alone probably weighs over a pound. Since it is the year of the dragon in Chinese zodiac, let's look at the dragon, shall we? This is Storm, the sea dragon by McFarlane. This is from the Aquaman movie, which I have not watched. I don't know if I will enjoy it. I don't know what role this sea dragon plays, but it's a sea dragon, so I have to have it. I'm a sucker for mythological animals and monsters, and yeah, this sea dragon is cool. Yeah, so here is an example of what McFarlane can do. This guy usually go for I believe $34, 35, and I got him really cheap on sale for like 24. I think was it 22 or 24. So he's a huge figure. He's not very mobile. Like you can kind of turn his head, and he's mounted on this display stand. This thing is like a bitch to get into the figure, to mount the figure on. And let me tell you, it took a hair dryer and a lot of force to get this to get in there. Uh, Not a fun experience. His head can kind of turn. Anything else? His flipper, the fin on the side, this can kind of move. His tail can, oh, it just fall off. Yeah, so when you move the tail, sometimes it will fall off like that. Uh, it's not super articulated. Like I guess it's not meant to be. It's just supposed to be there for your action figure to ride and to look good, right? But it is a big chunk of plastic. uh, Let me again. Let's bring Shipwreck back in, and then yeah, there's no comparison. There's no comparison with Shipwreck. Next to it, it's huge, right? You can totally see Shipwreck riding on this. but that's not how I'm going to display it. Most likely, I'm going to wait until I get the Myth God Poseidon from Berserker Studio. I got Hades now, but Hades wouldn't be riding a sea dragon. I think Poseidon would be the perfect person to write this. I think that's how I'm going to display this. I'm not going to display him with Aquaman or anything. Uh, I think this guy is totally going on my fantasy display. If you want to talk about value, like I mentioned, NECA is your go-to for bang for your buck. Diamond Select is another one, especially their big figures. Look at this Apocalypse action figure from the Marvel Select line by Diamond Select. I picked him up. I believe he was 34 bucks. 34 bucks, yeah, and he's huge. He's like 9 inches tall. Let me bring Shipwreck back in. Poor Shipwreck is being used to compare to all kind of monsters today. So here is oop, falling over. Yeah, there we go. Here's Shipwreck standing with Apocalypse, and yeah, Shipwreck doesn't even come up to his like solar plexus. So this guy is massive, right? Uh, 34 bucks. I believe when Hasbro released their uh, Apocalypse figure with their Marvel Legend, it was nowhere this size. Okay, nowhere this size. And what's more, this guy, in addition to being big, he comes with different hand options. He has like regular hands, and he has hands that turn into a spiked mace and a drill and a clamp, a claw. Like he got quite a few pack-ins, and these are not small things. They're big, chunky accessories. Uh, yeah, he's not as well articulated as a Marvel Legend action figure, but honestly, when you have a big guy like Apocalypse, all he has to do is stand there and look menacing. And who knows, if you wait for a discount, which will happen with Diamond Select sometime, if you can get this guy for under 30 bucks, like maybe 25 bucks, that would be such a great deal for a big, chunky super villain like this one. Speaking of big, chunky figures, here is the Snowman of Hook Mountain from the Thundercat series by Super 7. I decided not to collect Thundercat action figures, and it was a painful decision, a very adult decision because Super 7 is way overpriced. They are really expensive. Yes, they do give you a lot of stuff, but their articulation sometimes suck, and sometimes they throw in plastic that shouldn't even it's not necessary to be there. And like $56, $70 for these action figures is just too much. However, when I saw the Snowman of Hook Mountain on sale for 24 bucks, hell yeah, that's cheaper than the Marvel Legend. I'm good. I definitely went for it. I mean, he's a big guy, a big chunky action figure. I mean, what is he? He's like a Bigfoot. He's a Bigfoot warrior. Uh, totally will display with my fantasy guys, with my Masters of the Universe and Mythic Legion guys like that. Yeah, he's a little bit cartoony, but whatever. He's Bigfoot. He's like a big Yeti kind of guy. He comes with this big, chunky, removable helmet you can take off. He comes with uh, ice spear and lance and shield. Um, I have to rig it up to strap the weapon to his back because he can't carry them normally. This is one criticism I have of Super 7. Okay, you give them a lot of weapon, but make sure they can carry them. Otherwise, these weapons will just end up being put in a drawer and forgotten, right? And when we pay 56 to $70 for an action figure, that's not cool. This guy is pretty bulky though. Like for discounted price for 24 bucks, I definitely got my money worth it. I think that if you have to buy 50, $60, you spend 50, $60 on an action figure, this would still be pretty okay because he is pretty big. You are getting a lot of plastic, and he takes that nostalgic uh, box for me. That it's an action figure I remember from my childhood. Here is a quick comparison. We're going to bring Shipwreck back in. And yeah, Shipwreck just looked puny next to this guy. Again, this guy is more what I would say Incredible Hulk size. And he definitely have the weight to match that. He weighs almost a pound. Shipwreck standing next to him, it feels like the snowman's one arm and one leg would have enough plastic to make a Shipwreck action figure. Now, one of the sort of complaints fans had about Super 7 making the snowman of Hook Mountain is they did not make his animal companion. They didn't make Snow Meow. I mean, come on. You Snowman of Hook Mountain is always riding on Snow Meow. And you guys gave us a snowman and you didn't make Snow Meow. Like, what's up with that? Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have a snowmelt to show you, but here is an animal companion that on my shelf will be hanging out with the snowman of Hook Mountain. This is, oh, this is heavy. Yeah, you hear that very satisfying clunk when I put this girl down, right? This is the owl bear. This is the owl bear from Hasbro's Dungeons and Dragons toy line. Bring the camera down a little bit. Now, this chunky lady can actually be displayed in different way. You can display her on all fours like this, or you can get her to rear up and display her standing like like this, right? You can pose her. She actually comes with different paw option. So when you rear her up like that, her paw is not flat, weird looking like this. But because we are trying to do this quick, I'm not going to go get the replacement paw. But this is what she would look like when she's standing, rearing up. She's a really big beastie too. Uh, Shipwreck, uh, bring back Shipwreck. Again, Shipwreck is just tiny. Like barely coming up to her chest when she's standing upright. Uh, this is, like I said, from Dungeons and Dragons, and I figured that since we don't have Snowmail for the Snowman of Hook Mountain, this pure white owl bear should be a good companion for him. Now, I don't remember how much this owl bear was. I bought her at full price, and I think she was like 42 bucks, maybe 49. Okay, maybe 49. Definitely too much, right? Hasbro, come on. Like if Super 7 selling their stuff for 55 bucks and they come with almost 10 accessories and they have big bulky action figure at that price, you are selling me a big bulky action figure for 49 bucks and she only come with a pair of extra front paws. Like, come on. Like 40 bucks, 35 maybe, but not 49. I kind of wished I waited for a sale, but when I saw an owl bear being listed, I was so excited I just went for it. And here we have another big and fun figure. This one's from Mattel, from the Masters of the Universe. This is the character called Too Bad. I bought him like early last year, and then he's been sitting, or they've been sitting at Kitten's place for the whole year, and I was so looking forward to getting my hand on them. This is like a weird monster warrior with two heads and two different sides, like the two sides of the body are different and so many weapons. They got a mace, a shield, uh, fell over. He, they are having issues standing. That I would say because of the wonky proportion. Uh, a mace, a shield, an axe. There's actually a gun that's supposed to go there, but I don't want to display them with the gun, so I put the axe there, and there's another mace on the back of their armor. So full of weapon. This guy was like I think 34, I believe 34 bucks. 34 bucks. Uh, so many accessories and choices, and a pretty big figure, about 8 inches tall. Let's bring Shipwreck back in. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Look at how small Shipwreck is compared to this guy, right? You pay 25 dollars for Shipwreck. You pay $34 for this two-headed giant that come with loads of weapon. Again, to me, there's just no comparison. Hasbro has some weird pricing. Now, I'm not saying that Mattel is better than Hasbro because a lot of time Mattel stuff can be a bit iffy and questionable. But as far as Masters of the Universe and Revelation, and there's some of their Jurassic Park stuff, you just can't go wrong, right? They give you really chunky, bulky, big character with a lot of accessories for very reasonable prices. And guess what? They don't reuse the same body over and over and over and over again like Hasbro. Another line of action figures that I had to make a very adult decision to not collect was the Silverhawks. Um, but when I saw this guy on sale, uh, normally he's like 60 bucks. He's made by Super 7, so of course he's super expensive. Uh, but he was on sale for like 26. And again, 26, basically the price of a G.I. Joe figure. Yeah, I went for it. I mean, this is a big, chunky robot with buzzsaw, with circular chainsaws everywhere on his body. He can fit in with a lot of other displays, and so he doesn't have to be limited to Silverhawk or stuff like that. He can fight my Power Rangers. He can fight my uh, 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 Marvel superheroes, whatever. This can be just a random killer robot. And he is big and chunky, very solid. Uh, and these saw blades all over him, they actually move. Like you can spin them. The ones at his shoulder, they spin. The one at his arm, they spin. The one at his head, that one spin as well. In addition to these circular saws, he comes with extra parts to turn his hand into this hand cannon that we're looking at on screen. Uh, Additional hand options and other parts and pieces I'm not going to get into. There's a lot of them. And three different head options, and he come with his pet robotic bird called Shredder. That sound like Shredder, but yeah, look at this little robotic bird. I don't know if that's how he's supposed to interact with it, hold it in his hand like this. Uh, but that's how I can get it to display. Uh, Let me adjust the camera up. There we go. There's the bird. There's the bird. Right? And this bird is even articulated. The wings move. There's a little saw blade on the head here. Turn it around. There, over there. Yeah. Saw blade. This rotates. A tail feather that moves. So the head rotates. It's just a cute little robotic monster thing that he can pal around with. Yeah, really cool. I mean, this is just a cool, chunky robot, and getting him for like 26 bucks, I was so happy. I was so happy. Even though I decided not to collect Super 7's Silverhawk, for this price, I go for it. Heck, if all the Silverhawk get discounted to $26, I'd probably collect the whole line. Here's a quick size comparison with Shipwreck and Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw is like 3 times wider than Shipwreck and quite a bit taller. Again, I got him for basically the same price as Shipwreck. Yeah, really good deal there. And speaking of Silverhawk, here's another one, also from Super 7, the Silverhawks line. This is a big bad. This is a big super villain Monstar in his transformed, powered up state. Normally he goes for 80, $89 US. I was able to acquire him for 64. Not as big of a deal as Buzzsaw, but still, like 64 for this guy, totally worth it. Totally worth it. He comes with 2 head options, energy effect for his eyes, actually, was it 2 or 3 head option? Might be 3. I can't remember. And he had like 5 different pairs of hands or something like crazy like that. Energy effect for his elbow, and gigantic weapon. I'm not even posing him with his weapon. He comes with a gun that is as tall or taller than he is. The reason I don't pose him with it is because his articulation is kind of limited. Like I said, Super 7 has crap articulation sometimes, uh, especially on a robotic looking character like this. That's not excusable, right? If it's organic action figure, organic looking character, I can see you don't want to break up the line of the body with a lot of joints. But this guy is all angles and flat surfaces, there's no reason you can't get him to be more articulated. So anyway, because he's not well articulated, he looks stupid holding his gun. So I prefer him to fight bare hand like this. Uh, I don't even need to bring Shipwreck into this. I can tell you that this guy is about 11 inches tall and almost 8 inches wide. He's huge, massive, massive figure. Really, really good deal. Not getting him for 64 bucks. He also comes with his pet, not a bird. This is like a bat or something. It's called Sky Shadow, right? The wings move. I think the feet move. Maybe not. These little cannons mounted on the wings. These things they move too. You can rotate them. And yeah, it's a lot smaller than Monstar, but this is quite a chunky, big pet for him to have. There's no real good way of mounting this on him, so I usually just have him hold on to it, hold it in his open hand. Let me restart the app, and we'll be back for part 3 and hopefully final part of this very lengthy video.